the source of their preparations, they come to know that this is a name that we can easily give, and such names we call it as what? Common name. If a substantive group is there, we have to give a name for that. Okay? Such word which comes before the given compound, that we call it as what? Prefixes. The different kinds of functional group can also be present in a given carbon chain, and thereby the namings will be goes to be different. Hello my dear students, a warm welcome you all. Myself is Purnima, lecturing Department of Chemistry at Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. My dear students, in our last discussion, we were dealing with the unit called Organic Chemistry, some basic principles and techniques. Under this unit, we have studied about one of the interesting topic, that is electron displacement effect in the covalent bond. Under that, we have studied about the mainly 4 effects. First one is inductive effect, electromeric effect, mesomeric effect or resonance effect, and also we have studied about hyperconjugation. Today, let us move on to another interesting topic of this unit by understanding nomenclature. The nomenclature of organic compounds. Under that, today we are going to discuss whether what all the rules that we follow by the naming of the organic compound with the IUPAC form. Okay, the IUPAC system has given us several set of rules to name the given organic compound. Today we are going to understand that rules also. First of all, before going to understand with the nomenclature of organic compound, let us understand the word nomenclature meaning. So here the word nomenclature in the sense naming. Okay, the word nomenclature indicates what? Naming of organic compound. Okay, why we have to name the organic compound? We know that every year, around 30,000 of the new organic compounds will be discovered, and already 5 million organic compounds which is already discovered by the different scientists. To give a unique name to each and every organic compound in the chemistry, we follow the certain rules which has been given from the organization called as IUPAC system. Okay. Before that, we also had one more system of naming a organic compound, that we call it as what? Trivial or with a common name. So this name will be given to the organic compound based only upon the sources. Whereas in the IUPAC system, it is one of the organization which gives a set of rule. We follow that rule, and this rule will be universal. Wherever you go, we apply the same rule to name the given organic compound. Let us understand what is meant by a trivial or with a common name. Okay, the trivial or the common name usually given to the organic compound, which is mainly depends upon their sources. Okay, for example, you can see that in the earlier stage of development of the organic chemistry, the organic compounds were named after their sources from which they have been prepared. One example for this is acetic acid. So, what is the formula for the acetic acid? It is CH3COOH. So, this acetic acid was being discovered from the word called as acetum, from the Latin word. Hence, the acetum which indicates that the entire organic compound which is found in the vinegar. Okay. Hence, it is named as acetic acid. Like that, the plenty of example if you see in the organic chemistry, the trivial name or the common name which comes mainly from their sources. Okay. Similarly, we have one more name called as formic acid, and the formula is COOH, which was being obtained from the formicus, which means that the entire organic compound which is obtained from the red ants, because the compound was first obtained by the distillation of red ants. Like this, from the source of their preparations, they come to know that this is a name that we can easily give, and such names we call it as what? Common name. Okay. Next, we'll move on to the IUPAC system. With the rapid growth of organic chemistry, the larger number of organic compounds which has been discovered, the chemist felt that it is impossible to give a common name to each such organic compound or with a large number of organic compound. In the year 1957, there is an organization which has been developed, which we call it as what? International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So this is known as what? IUPAC. It is an International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, was being developed by the huge organization in the year called as 1957, which was being evolved the scheme for giving a systematic naming or systematic names to the organic compounds on the basis of their structure, and this system we call it as what? IUPAC system, and it is used all over the world. And this IUPAC system has also given the formula to name the given organic compound. So what is the formula then? We can easily remember the formula, that is prefixes should come first, then root word or word root, next comes to the suffixes. Again, these suffixes are of two types. One is primary suffix, other one is secondary suffix. What is mean by prefixes? What is mean by root word? And what is mean by primary suffix and secondary suffix? That we are going to discuss next. Okay. So what are prefixes then? Prefixes indicates that if you see a given organic compound, somewhere you can see that some of the branches will be there. That branches shows that there is a formation of substantive group in the given compound. That we call it as what? Suffixes or the substantive group. If a substantive group is there, we have to give a name for that. Okay. Such word which comes before the given compound, that we call it as what? Prefixes. Okay. So what are then substantive group will be there? Usually we have fluoro, chloro, bromo, iodo, nitro, amino, hydroxy. Okay. These are the substantive group, and the prefixes you can see that fluoro, chloro, bromo, iodo, nitro, amino, hydroxy. We have one more set of substantive group, that is CN, that is cyano, R stands for alkyl group, CH3 stands for methyl group, C2H5 stands for ethyl group, OR stands for alkoxy group, OCH3 stands for methoxy group, and NC stands for isocyanide group. Like this, the number of substantive group can easily attach to the carbon chain, and we call that chain or the branch chain as a substantive group, and we have to give a prefixes for those substantive group. Okay. Next we have word root. This word root which tells about how many carbon atoms will be there in the given compound. So which talks about what? How many number of carbon atoms will be there in the given compound. Suppose if one carbon atom will be there, then we use the root word as meth. If two carbon atom is there, we say it is eth. If three carbon atom is there, we say it is prop. If 4 carbon atom is there, then we say but. If 5 carbon atom, pent. 6 carbon atom, hex. 7 carbon atom, hept. 8 carbon atom, oct. 9 carbon atom, non. 10 carbon atom, dec. If 11 carbon atom is there, undec. Then for the 12 carbon atom, dodec. 13 carbon atom, tridec. 14 carbon atom, tetradec. 15 carbon atom, pentadec. Like that, if number of carbon atom is more, we have to use the root word specifically. Suppose if only 4, if only 3 is there, we have to use the root word with the following number of terms. Okay. Next, we have a suffix. As I told you, the suffixes which indicates that that's a word which comes after the naming. Okay. So, these suffixes are of two types. One is primary suffix and the one is secondary suffix. The primary suffix which always talks about the nature of carbon atom in the given compound, whether it is an alkane. So, if it is an alkane, you can see that in the entire chain, you will find out the carbon-carbon single bond. Then we come to know that it is an alkane, we have to end with what? ANE. We have to end with what? ANE. Okay. Suppose somewhere in the entire carbon chain, if you find out the unsaturation will be in the form of double bond or it may be in the terms of triple bond. If double bond is there, we say it is alkene. We say it is as alkene and we have to end with what? ENE. Suppose if triple bond is there in your carbon chain, then it is nothing but alkynes. Okay, and we have to end with what? YNE. This is how the primary suffix which gives an idea about the nature of carbon in a given organic compound. If it is singly bonded, we say it is alkane and we have to end with ANE. Suppose if double bond is there, we say it is ENE, it is an alkene. If it is triple bond is there, we say it is alkyne and we have to end with YNE. Let us understand what is meant by secondary suffix. The secondary suffix which gives an idea about the functional group. What is then functional group? Functional groups are nothing but special groups which is going to give a special characteristics to that given compound. Okay. Then how many different types of functional groups will be there and how to use the suffixes for that, let us understand now. Okay. Suppose if OH functional group is there, that indicates that your compound is an alcohol, we should end with OAL. We should end with OAL. Suppose if CHO functional group is there, we say it is an aldehyde, then we have to end with AL. Suppose if you have C double bond O as your ketone functional group, then it should be end with ONE. Suppose you have a group called as COOH. This is known as carboxylic acid and we have to end with oic acid. Okay. Suppose if your functional group is COOR, it is an ester and we have to end with O8. Suppose if the functional group is CONH2, we say it is amide. Okay. Usually it is an acid amide. We have to end with what? Amide. If your functional group is NH2, we say it is amine. Okay. If the functional group is CN, we say it is cyanide and we have to end with what? Nitride. Like this, a different kinds of functional group can also present in your carbon chain and for that we have to use the specific secondary suffixes for that. If it is an aldehyde, remember we have to end with AL only. If it is an alcohol, we have to end with OAL. The different kinds of functional group can also be present in a given carbon chain and thereby the namings will be goes to be different. Okay. This is how we follow the rule while naming with the organic compound. Which is the rule that we follow? We have to use the prefixes, then root word, primary suffix, then with the secondary suffix. Now we'll understand with the set of rule was given by the IUPAC system. Okay. The first and foremost rule is we have to select the longest chain rule, which indicates that whatever the compound which is given in your chain, okay, whatever the function group is there or substantive group is there, we have to select the carbon chain in such a way that there should be a maximum number of carbon atoms should be there or your chain. So that is the first rule and we call it as what? Selection of parental chain or the longest chain rule. The longest continuous chain of carbon atom which may or may not be straight is first chosen and this chain is called as what? parental chain or parent chain. And this will be named by using a correct root word depending upon the number of carbon atom. You can see with the example here. In the first example, you have only one carbon atom. We say it is root word as methane. There is no substituent group. In the second example, you can see that there is no substituent group. Directly we have a 2 carbon atom. So if 2 carbon atom will be there, then we use the root word eth, and it is an alkane. Hence it should be end with ane. You can see that one more example, CH3, CH2, CH3. All carbon atom having a single bond. There are 3 carbon atoms will be there. Hence it is an propane. See the fourth example, CH3, CH2, CH2 and CH3. There are 4 carbon atoms will be there, and all the carbon atoms are having a single bond. Hence it is named as what? Butane. Okay. We have one more example here. You can see that here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon atom, correct? So we have a 4 carbon atom in the given chain. Now you can see that we have one more group called as CH3 group, which is present on the second carbon atom, correct? So how to select the longest chain in this cases? We have to select the longest chain in such a way that if substituent group is there, that carbon atom should get a least number, okay? So here the maximum number of carbon atom in the chain is 4. Therefore the root word will be given as but. Since it is an alkane, so it should be end with the primary suffix known as ane. Hence the name become what? Butane. But there is a one substituent group which has been attached to the second carbon atom. Hence that substituent group CH3, if it is there, we call this as what? Methyl. We call that as what? Methyl, and this is a substituent group. Then in such a situation, how to name? What is the rule that we use? The rule is prefix plus root word then suffix, correct? Suffixes are of again 2 types. What is the prefixes that we have? The second carbon atom which is having a substituent group, correct? So how to name that? 2-methyl. 2-methyl. How many carbon atom? 4. So what is the root word now? But. So see all the carbon atom having a single bond. It should be end with ane. So the name of this compound is 2-methyl butane. It is named as what? 2-methyl butane. The same thing which I have explained here. The substituent group will be named as a prefixes. While writing the name of the substituent group, the position of this carbon atom should also be mentioned. Why it is like that? Because it is the rule that we follow to give a preference to the substituent group. If substituent group is there, such carbon atom should also get a least number, and in such a way that while writing the name, we have to mention which carbon atom has got the substituent group. Okay. Hence the name will become what? 2-methyl butane. Okay. Next, the second rule says that the lowest number or the lowest sum rule. The parent chain is numbered in such a way that substituent group should get a minimum number. If more than one substituent group is there, then we have to follow with the locands must be minimum. You can see that here I have an example. Okay. See this example. In the straight chain we have 5 carbon atom. Now I can go with the left to right, correct? I can go with the right to left also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't know which order is correct, but I have a substituent group, correct? So in such situation we go with the lowest locant rule, that is a rule 2. So what does that indicates? You can see that if I go from left to right, which carbon atom has got the substituent group? The 4th carbon atom has got the substituent group, correct? Suppose if I go from right to left, which carbon atom has got the substituent group? The 2nd carbon atom. So by this lowest locant rule, I come to know that I should go in the right to left in such a way that the carbon containing functional group should get a least number. So that is why I had to go in the right to left order only, right to left order in such a way that the substituent group containing carbon should get what? Least number as 2. Okay, this is what actually the rule 2 says. Let us understand the rule 3 also. The presence of identical group. If more than one identical substituent group is there, then we have to use the word di, tri and tetra. You will come to know that example later. Okay, you can see that in the first example. So as I move from left to right, I will give the numbering in such a way that the substituent group attached to carbon should get a least number. While writing the name, how do you name it? 2-methyl pentane. 2-methyl-pentane. You can see that if I go from right to left, left to right, if I go from left to right, I can see that the fourth carbon atom is having the substituent group. If I go in this order, you know, it's not a correct way of naming the organic compound. Ma'am, why? Because as the rule 2 says that if substituent group is there, we have to follow the lowest locant rule, or we have to number in such a way that substituent group containing carbon should get what? Least number. Okay. So here the order 1 is correct and order 2 is wrong. Okay. Next, you can see that the example here also I have mentioned. As I told you, the rule number 3 says that if same identical groups is there, we have to go with di, tri and tetra. You can see that how to go with the numbering now. So if I go from left to right, I will number it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct? Now, as I move from right to left, I will go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I don't know which order I should follow it. I will go with the lowest locant rule. From left to right, if I go, which are the carbon has got the substituent group? 2 plus 4. If I go from right to left, which are the carbon has got the substituent group? 3 plus 5. So, it is 8. This is 6. Correct? So, which one is the least number? I have to go in the left to right order. How to name this? You can see that the second and fourth carbon atom has got the same substituent group and it has the same identical groups also. In such situation, we have to use what? Di, tri and tetra. Okay. So, how to name this? So, it is 2, 4. These are the position. Dimethyl. Why it is dimethyl? Because 2 same identical substituent groups are there. Dimethyl. How many carbon atoms? 6. What is the root word for that? Hex. And see that all are having a single bond. So, it should be end with A and E. 2, 4 dimethyl hexane. Okay. So, the same thing which I have explained in a 2 way. You can see that if I go from left to right, I will say that it is 2, 4 dimethyl hexane. It is correct. Suppose if I go from right to left, I will say that it is 3, 5 dimethyl and it is wrong. Why ma'am it is wrong? Because you must remember that if substituent group is there, that carbon atom should get what? Least number. That is why we have to follow, if more than 2 substituent group is there, suppose if you are confused how to number it, go with the lowest locant rule and follow the rule and find out which is a lowest way for numbering the right to left or from right to left to right or from right to left also. Okay. Next, here the 2-methyl group present as a substituent group. In the numbering, you know, the sum of the locants is 2, 4 which is going to give us 6 and the numbering which is going to form what? 3 plus 5 which is going to form a 8. So, that is why I have go with the 2 plus 6 which I have explained. Okay. Next, let us understand the rule 5, that is arrangement of the prefixes. How to arrange the prefixes? If 2 different prefixes if it is given. If different substantive groups are there, then the prefixes must be arranged according to their alphabetical order. It is very simple. For example, you can see that in the above example, we have a two substantive group. One is methyl, one is ethyl. And I know I should start with left to right only. Correct? Now, while naming, okay, ethyl will come first or methyl will come? Ethyl will come first. Okay. So, how to name it is? It is 2-methyl 4-ethyl-hexane. Again, it is wrong. Why it is wrong? We have to follow in the alphabetical order. So, that is why we have to go with 4-ethyl 2-methyl-hexane. So, 4-ethyl 2-methyl-hexane. It should not be 2-methyl 4-ethyl-hexane. Why not? If two different substantive group is there, while arranging, we have to go in the alphabetical order. That is a rule 5. The same thing which I have explained here. Next, we'll see some of the example so that you will come to know how to solve with the problems. Okay. So, you can see that here I have a chain. So, what is the first rule says that? The first rule is we have to select the longest chain. You can see that the straight chain consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, what is my first rule says? We have to select the longest chain in such a way that there should be a maximum number of carbon atom. So, since if I follow in this order, it will give only the 6 carbon atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Suppose I have one more way to number it, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 carbon atoms will be there. So, I can go with this order and this carbon will become what? Substantive group. How to name this? Since I have a 7 carbon atom and you can see that we have to number it in such a way that substantive group containing carbon should get what? Least number. This is first, second, third, fourth, 5, 6 and 7. Now you tell me how to name this. So the third carbon atom has got what? Substantive group. Which substantive group? It is methyl group. So how to name this? It is 3-methyl. How many carbon atom? 7. So it is hept, and you can see that there is a single bond, so it should be end with ane. Okay, 3-methyl heptane. Okay, now we have one more example, that is CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, CH2, CH and CH3, and we have a 2-methyl functional group and it should be named as 2,2 dimethyl-hexane. Next, we have CH3, CH, CH and CH2, CH and CH3. Since we have two substantive group and it is ethyl group, that is C2H5. Okay. In such situation, how to name this? So, it is named as 2,3 trimethyl heptane. We have one more example, CH3C, CH, CH2, CH3. The second carbon atom has got the same substantive group and third carbon atom also. So, how to name this? 2,2,3 trimethyl pentane. This is how we can follow the IUPAC system to name any organic compound which is given and which has been prescribed from the pre-university board. Hope you all understood with the general naming of organic compound. In the next class, I am going to discuss with the nomenclature of organic compounds which are containing a functional group. Hope you all understood with this session. I will come back with the next topic. Till that, take care, be safe. Thank you.